Yeah, we're pretty excited to have our channel back.
Can everybody hear us okay? Is the signal good?
Yeah, we have questionable signal here. So hopefully the audio is okay. Look all right?
Not get any comments, so.
I saw Rose had a comment on it. Yeah, see?
Yeah, but nothing since we've been live.
Oh.
Hello from Colorado.
All right.
What? There we go.
Four-wheel camper. Good to see you. And my brother, Robert. Raymond. Hello,
Okay,
Ray.
so everybody can hear us okay and the connection's good? Good. Looks good and sounds good.
Yeah, so pretty much this live is in place of our regular video because we got hacked and
We're really happy to be talking to you on our channel.
Yeah.
Because there was a possibility that we would not get our channel back. So.
Yeah, and all the videos were still on there. There's some maintenance that we have to do to fix it back up to where it was. A couple areas were deleted, but most of it is intact.
Hi everybody.
Hello.
Calm Desert.
Thanks for joining us.
From Ajo. We love Ajo.
Oh, I do
Mike
love
and
Ajo.
Christy. Hello from Texas. I'd love to be on a Texas beach. So we'll let a few more people come on. So where are we?
We're currently in Redding, California. So we're at my brother's place. We're gonna be here for just a couple more days and then we'll be on the road again.
Yeah, so we're a few hours away from Mom, so we haven't seen Robert and Renee for 2 years.
Which is too long.
Almost to the date. So we've been spending a little bit of time with them. Thank you, Sir Rob. And we've been having a good time, and actually Robert helped me fight the hackers.
Yeah.
Which was not a smart idea.
Yeah, Carrie was on at the same time that the hackers were on our account.
So let's start with Liz and Charlie from the adVANture Closet. They have a YouTube channel and an Instagram channel.
Hi, George.
And I got a message from the adVANture Closet on Instagram saying, I think your YouTube channel has been hacked because there's a live Bitcoin video on there. And sure enough, I went on right away. They had changed our channel name, they had changed our profile picture, but I was still able to get in, so I think we caught them just at the beginning because they could have very easily locked us out and deleted everything.
Yeah, one of the first things you did was you stopped their video, or you made their video private. And then the hacker saw that we made their video private and
said, oh yeah, you want to see what I can do?
Every single one of our videos private, but thankfully they didn't delete them all.
That probably wasn't the smartest thing to do.
Yeah, they were like, oh yeah, we can do this.
Yeah, so the first thing we did is...
George was asking how your mom's doing too.
Oh, okay. We'll get back to that. I went in to my Google account and I changed my password right away. And then I went into YouTube and changed that password. So the hacker and I were both in our YouTube account at the same time. And they didn't know I was in there until I marked their live feed private, which came back on right away. And then they said, oh yeah? Watch what I can do. And then I was like, oh crap, now they know I know they're here. So then I logged out of YouTube, tried to log back in and did forgot password so that it would kick them out, quickly changed the password again.
So apparently a whole bunch of people got hacked in the same time frame area. Mm-hmm. It was widespread and we don't know how they did it, how they got in, but they figured it out.
Yes. And so we kicked them out and they were gone and we thought, okay, we're good. And I changed the channel name back, I changed the profile picture back, and then everything went dark.
Well, yeah, I think YouTube figured out that there was some shadiness going on somehow, and then they froze the account.
Yeah, they suspended the account.
Which is common, I think, common practice.
Which is good, but I contacted YouTube and they were very fast to reply. I have to say they were great. But they asked information that I didn't know.
Yeah, and we couldn't get on our channel to find out the information.
So if you have a YouTube account, write your channel ID number down, because they wanted that channel ID number and I didn't write it down anywhere.
Yeah, also have a link to one of your videos handy, because they might ask for that as well.
Yeah.
So send yourself a link to one of your own videos.
Thankfully, I had in the very, very beginning posted a link on Facebook to come join our channel, and our channel ID was in that link. So we got it back.
Yep.
Now it looks a little different in here, and you guys are seeing lots of different little videos. I think you guys are seeing Patreon videos that weren't marked public. So if you see lots of different little videos, those are the Patreon videos that you've been seeing. So we were really nervous at first because losing all the videos would have been a pain in the butt, but we have copies of every video that we've done. So that would have been very time consuming, but
Losing the subscribers would have been tough.
losing the subscribers, losing our logo, the vinyl sticker on the van would have had to been changed.
Yeah, and we just had new cards made, and we didn't want to lose our name. We got new cards, and we got new stickers.
New stickers. Yeah, the new stickers, the new cards, the merchandise, the website. We would have had to change all of that. So we're very, very happy to get it back. So yes, new stickers. They're holographic. They are in our store if you'd like to purchase one. Jody, what's your saying about Lewiston? We're glad to be back. All right, how's Mama doing? So the last 4 days of radiation pretty much kicked her butt, and she did not do well. She's got a radiation burn on her neck, and then we think she has a radiation burn inside. So swallowing, eating, sleeping on her back was extremely painful, and it pretty much put her in bed for 5 days.
So somebody said that not all of our videos are back.
Okay.
So we'll have to double check on that. We saw most of the videos, so all of our playlists are gone. So we'll have to make up new playlists, but we'll be able to tell if our videos are there.
Yeah, it doesn't look quite right on this, so I have to
Yeah.
go in and do some tweaking, but
Yeah, it looks a little different when you look at it too.
yeah.
Like some of them are out of order.
Yeah. So back to Mom. So she was in bed for 5 days, and when we finally took her to the hospital on Monday for her radiation appointment, the radiologist said, we're going to quit treatments right now, because she only had 2 more left. And she was pretty dehydrated, so they gave her some fluids. We took her home. She's been home for about a week. We spent a few days with her, and she's just relaxing at home. Her swallowing's better. She's still pretty weak, and she's got a network of friends around her that are helping her. So we'll be, right now we're only about 3 hours away from her. Are we that far?
No, hour and a half.
Hour and a half. So we can run back if we need to, and it's going to be a slow process for her.
I think every day she'll feel a little bit better than the day before.
Yeah. She will be having a CT scan at the end of the month to see what the chemo and radiation treatments and how the cancer responded to that. And then based off of that appointment, they may or may not continue 1 year immunotherapy. So right now we're just in a holding pattern, and Mom's at home trying to get a little bit stronger. That's it?
Yeah, we're gonna stay around the west probably most of this year. So within a day or two drive at the furthest. From here, we're looking at going south, and we haven't even pinpointed where we're gonna go. And that's not really like us, but it's nice to be open like that.
Yeah, I mean, we usually have a general direction of where we're going, and this year has just thrown us for a loop.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
Well, somewhere a little bit warmer. Going to be working on a battery upgrade.
Yeah, so Dave is ready and anxious to get the battery upgrade going, and we need to be somewhere a little bit warmer so we can open all the doors and be comfortable and have stuff everywhere.
Yeah, I think it's gonna take like 2 or 3 days to get it done.
Yeah, so we're thinking about heading south, but again, we're having a really hard time actually making plans this year.
Yeah.
So we're kind of flying by the seat of our pants, and we'll find out when we get there. Thank you, Rose, for the super chat.
We do have some ideas though. I would love to hunt mushrooms in Oregon in the spring.
Yes. Hi, Scott.
There's a couple areas in Oregon that we really wanted to take some time and explore, so I think we're going to try some of that.
Hopefully we'll do that.
Eastern Oregon.
Yes. And hopefully into Idaho maybe. And maybe skirt back into Washington. I think first though we might go to Arizona and work our way up.
I would like to actually explore Nevada, but northern Nevada, where nobody really has shown much on any of the YouTube channels that I've seen, and there's some really cool spots.
Yeah.
I think you guys would be surprised. You'd be like, that's Nevada?
But right now it's winter time, so it's hard for us to get to some of those spots.
Super cold, high desert.
Hi, Mark from Minnesota. Minnesota. How much snow do you have in Minnesota? The East Coast is getting some big storms.
Yeah. That's the way it is. It's if it's warm out in the west, it's usually super cold and stormy back east.
Sometimes I think flying by the seat of your pants is a good thing.
I know, it is kind of fun because then you can change your mind, or you can do whatever seems right at the moment, and not have to worry about where you're going to be and what day you're going to be there on.
You guys are going to laugh, but we did sign up for the sugar beet harvest.
We did. We said we weren't going to.
We said we weren't going to do that.
And we're going to do it again.
So our hopes are to be in Alaska next year. We say that every year. We're going to be in Alaska next summer. Thank you guys. We're really happy to be back.
Yeah. That was a close call.
That was a close call. And I had all the safety protocols on. I had two-step authentication. How do you say that?
Authenticity.
And I had, strong passwords, and I don't click on any questionable links. And so the only thing I didn't have on was my VPN. So maybe we should put that on.
Yeah.
All right, so we have just been pretty chill, just taking it easy, kind of decompressing from the last 9 weeks. Mom did really good, but it was still a pretty tough experience. When you say?
So someone says, Rose says Alaska summer 2022 or 23. I'm thinking
23.
23.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, not this year. We don't want to get that far away.
Bernadette, what was your close call? Our YouTube channel got hijacked and was terminated, so they said. And we were in contact with YouTube for a few days, and we finally got it back yesterday. In fact, YouTube hasn't even contacted me to say it's back, but our subscribers and patrons sure contacted me to say, you're back. Yeah. Larry says, where do you find energy to work in the sugar beet harvest with all that's going on in your lives?
Well, the sugar beet harvest, they've made it really easy, and it doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't feel like work; it just feels like long hours. So, it's a free RV park. We're only a mile away from where we put the day's work in. The RV park's free. There's hot showers. Everything you need is close by. They just made it really easy. So.
The motivation is getting to Alaska because the sugar beet harvest will help us get there. And it's really hard for us to plan that far ahead. So if something happens between now and then, we can always opt out.
Yeah.
So, thank you, Terry.
Thank you, Terry.
It was really weird to have your 3 years of work just gone.
Yeah. And we do have, like Carrie does back up the videos, so if we did have to start over, we wouldn't be starting over from scratch. But to get back those subscribers, that has taken us almost 4 years to gain.
Yeah.
Would be tough.
So it usually takes me anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour to upload a video. So if I had to go back and upload 300 videos, that's a lot of time.
Yeah. Yeah, we wouldn't. Wouldn't be able to do it in 1 week, that's for sure.
How's Rudel? Rudel is happy to be here with his cousin Tucker. They've been running around. On top of all of this, Rudel had a stomach bug, and he was this close to going to the vet. So
Yeah, he's doing better now. He's looking pretty normal.
he says he's his own self and playing ball and jumping in the pool. Thank you, Joyce. Joyce, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you're feeling better. What have you been doing on the van?
Well,
You don't have to tell the whole story.
I've been upgrading it with a backup mirror that's high definition, that I can see pretty much a wide angle behind us, just to make it easier to drive in and out of traffic. And it worked great. And then I decided I want to hardwire it in so it wasn't plugged into the DC port, the cigarette lighter DC port. And during that process, I managed to fry it. So,
Which is not really good right before we do the battery install.
so it does not install confidence, because I'm about ready to do the whole van upgrade battery system. So,
But you'll get it figured
a little
out.
bit of a setback.
That's how you learn, though.
Yeah.
So it's a rear view mirror camera. Our friends Rose and Michael had a dash cam, and we loved it so much that we were going to order that same camera. But then Dave said, I really wish I had a camera on the mirror. And I was like, they make those.
Yeah, and it has a front and back camera, so and it has SD card in it, so if we see a wild animal across in front of us, we'll have it all on video.
Yeah, we don't have to try to grab the camera.
Normally we're grabbing the phone and dropping it, and then we're missing the shot, so hopefully this had some interesting adventures.
Yes, electrical is a pain.
But I've always
So
struggled.
Rob, thank you.
I've always really struggled with the electrical, but I've drawn out a draft already for the battery upgrade, and I think I've got a pretty good handle on it. We'll have to see how it goes.
But that's how you'll learn.
Yeah.
And that's why we went with a goal 0, because we were so intimidated by electrical. But by the time you're done, you'll have it under your belt, and we won't be so intimidated. He won't be. He showed me the his print up, and I was like,
Yeah,
I'm glad you know what that
I
is.
drew it all out, what size gauge wires to use, where to put the circuit breakers, so it was tough.
Thank you, Josh. And then since we were here in Redding, we took the van in and we got the serpentine belt, or the timing belt changed, just because it was time for that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's at 80,000 miles, so we were a little over.
So we got that done. We're doing really exciting stuff like getting our taxes done.
Yeah. Getting our registration, our vehicle registration,
yeah.
which is nice because we're officially residents of South Dakota, so we don't have to drive back to South Dakota to get our little registration stickers. All we have to do is send them a money order, and then they'll ask us where they can send the stickers to, and so
Yeah.
it's super easy.
So we just been doing mundane chores. Our tax return from Montana last year got sent back to Montana. They sent it to us they resent it to us in October, and the check was expired. So we had to go get that notarized and fill out this big form for that. So
Just the usual.
usual mundane chores that you
Yeah.
have to do.
And sometimes it's nice to be in one spot for more than 3 days just to get everything done.
Yeah.
And have good internet.
Yes, and it's nice to see family that we haven't seen in a couple of years, but we are really missing being on the road.
Yeah. I'm missing the desert, but I know that's where everybody goes in the wintertime, but usually I like to go with the snow, but
Well, we spent 2 months in Reno, and it was cold,
yeah, so
and we got our fill.
we got our taste of the winter. Raymond.
I've watched a video how to install a battery on YouTube through Google search, and your video came up, but it was under someone else's name. So they were taking credit. What?
Oh, well, that's weird.
Somebody else said they saw. Okay, if you guys see any of our videos under somebody else, can you let us know?
Oh, George is asking why we're going with a battery bank system instead of just one of the already done power stations. So we've already had the power stations, and they're nice and they really have their purpose, but they're just not many amp hours to them. So most of them are, because everything's encased, it's a fairly big box, but the actual amp hours is fairly low in them. And we don't use a lot of power, but we have been conserving big time for the last almost 4 years, and just running basically lights and fans and keeping things charged. Excuse me. So we're hoping to upgrade to probably 3 times the amount of power that we've had before by just using a 200 amp hour battery, and then wiring in a DC to DC charger where we can charge off the motor, and we'll still be able to charge off the solar panels.
So what that means is if it's hot, we can run the fans all night and not have to worry about it.
Yeah, we haven't been able to do that in the summertime when it's hot. We've had to even conserve how often we run the fans. So we need more power. None of the power stations have as much power as we want. Some of them are close, but they actually cost more than just buying a battery and doing all the wiring yourself.
Yeah. And if we wanted to run the Webasto heater all night, we are concerned about the Webasto heater and the refrigerator on the Gold Zero. Sometimes it kicks it off.
It does. It kicks it out.
And so we can run the Webasto off the van battery, but then we're concerned about, do you run the van battery down?
Yeah, because we're going to be...
Which we haven't had that happen.
But we're worried that we shorten the van battery life.
So with a little bit more power, we can run whatever we want for as long as we want. And we're still going to be super minimal in our power consumption.
Yeah, 200 amp hours is still pretty minimal, but it's going to feel like 3 times what we had before.
When we were in Illinois and it was 90 degrees with 90% humidity, we had clouds and we could not run our fans because our batteries were low.
Yeah.
That sucked.
Yeah. And our heater doesn't take up much energy because it's running off the gasoline pipe directly into our fuel tank. So it just has to run the fan and the pump. So the fan, the pump, and it adds up over time. If it's a really cold night and you want to run the heater all night, which I don't recommend because it gets too hot, but sometimes some of us want to do that.
I'm just keeping the heater healthy by running it a lot.
It does. We've got the healthiest heater around.
Or in the summertime when it's really hot, the fridge works more.
Yeah.
And then you have the fans on more, so it wears the battery down a little more.
Scott was asking how much solar we have on our roof. So currently we have, we have 2 100-watt powers, so 200 watts, but we also have a third portable 100-watt panel, so a total of 300 watts on our roof.
What does it make of your fridge? It's a fridge or freezer, and it's Dometic 26 quart.
It's a 26 quart Dometic, and that's as small as you can get. I mean, it is tiny.
Yeah.
So if we had a bigger fridge, you can run it on a power station, but it's just gonna run the battery down faster.
Yeah. So, okay, here's something we don't normally talk about. And Rose brings up a good point. She says, I heard from another channel that YouTube takes 40% of your super chats. And yes, that is true.
Yeah.
So, but YouTube has been good to us. So, I mean, they store all of our videos. They don't charge us. So, I guess I don't feel so bad that they're taking some of it.
It seems high.
It is high. Yes, it is high. Like Patreon only takes 5%. So, and PayPal takes less than that too, but it is high.
Yeah, you should know.
Yeah, so yeah, sometimes we feel bad because you guys are so generous, and a lot of that goes to YouTube, so thank you though.
Yeah, thank you.
Dave and Carrie, when do you think you'll go to Alaska? So we had covered this a little earlier. We're hoping to be there summer of 2023.
Yes.
And the reason why we're going to do the sugar beet harvest is we want to at least take the ferry one way, which is pretty expensive. So do we have a generator? We talked about that. We debated about that. And we just don't want to carry the gas in the extra room.
Yeah.
But we could get a small one if we had to.
Well, once this new battery system is done, I don't think we're going to have any need for a generator at all. Because we're going to get so much power from the alternator and when we run the engine. So we're probably going to barely need the solar panels unless we stay in one spot. If we stay in one spot, then we're going to be working on the solar panels, or we're going to be using up the power from the solar.
And we have a portable solar panel still, so that will help charge. So our intention this year was to do more meetups. That was our whole goal, was to do meetups, and we still want to do that. But like I said earlier, with just the way that the year has started, we can't plan anything.
You can hear the birds in the back because the slider door is open.
Yeah, we have the slider door open to get better connection.
And here in Redding, California, it is spring right now. So the grass is green, the trees are
blooming,
healthy.
Dave's taking his allergy medicine.
Doubling up on the allergy pills, but it feels absolutely like spring.
Yeah. So, anything else? Does anybody have any questions?
Terry's asking, where do we get our mail? So we get our mail at America's Mailbox, and that's currently in South Dakota. So that makes it nice because they go through our mail for us. They weed out the junk mail. We put in extra effort to get rid of our mail before we started van life. And so when we do get mail from there, it's usually stuff that we need.
Yeah, and we only get our mail sent to us maybe once or twice a year, so we typically don't have things sent there too often.
Yeah.
But if Terry was asking because they wanted to send a check, but that might not be the best option. But thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, any questions? Anybody have any questions? How often do you have to go to the grocery store? About once a week. That is our...
Yeah, we can go longer, obviously. We can store up for the long term, but if we want to eat fresh fruits and vegetables or anything like that, it's once a week.
Yeah, anything that needs to be refrigerated.
Yeah. I like to go 10 days. Pretty much our van is set up for 10 days. We got 10 days worth of water. We can store 10 days worth of food. So the more we can stay out of town, the better.
Yeah, and after about 10 days, we're itching to move on, so that works out good. So.
Larry's asking if my parents are still alive, and no, they are not.
You're stuck with me.
I'm stuck with her. The lifespan in my family, the oldest person,
Robert.
And Robert, my brother, the oldest one that we know of in our family is 63 years old. So that's one thing that made it easier for me to decide to do this lifestyle. Was it's better to get on the road now while we still have the time.
Yeah, that was easy. That kind of helped you feel, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Yeah.
So. Allergies are getting you, huh?
Allergies. No wonder I like the snow so much. Even my eyes are getting squinty.
Okay, guys. We just wanted to pop on and say hi. We're back. We're really happy to have our channel back. It looks very weird right now. I don't know what you guys can see on the other side, but if you notice anything unusual, please let us know. Instagram, Facebook, oneadventureatatime.com.
So there's still some people asking questions.
Okay.
So to take the ferry one way, I'd have to relook up the price, but I think it's right around $2,000.
Yeah.
So that's the main reason why we're going to run with the beet harvest this year, which is in October, and that money hopefully we'll be able to save up for the next year.
The adVANture Closet. I don't know if you were on when we started this super chat or this live stream, but thank you for telling us that our channel was hacked. You were the first one, and that's why we were able to go in and combat them.
And Carrie was on at the same time as the hacker.
Yeah, so I was having a hacker wars, but they won ultimately. So let's see.
We got questions we can keep answering.
Do you cook with propane or butane? Propane. Propane is just, we have a regular barbecue size.
Yeah, we have the 20-pound tank, which is the standard size, and I love it because we can go 3 months without having to refill it. Because the only thing that we're using the propane for is cooking.
Thanks, Mark. Thank you, Michael. What is your favorite state? We try not to answer that.
I can give you some of my favorite states.
I will say we have found gems in every state that we've been in. A couple of states we were like, I don't know if I like this state, but we've gone back to that state and we're like, this is pretty cool. But Dave has an ultimate.
Yeah, I love pretty much states that have mountains and canyons and not a million people, and I really like Utah. It seems like every time we go to Utah we find something else, and then we leave and we're like, oh, we didn't have a chance to check this out or that out, so we always end up want to go back to Utah. But I love Idaho and Wyoming and all those states along the Rocky Mountains. I can't get enough of them.
And Dave likes more of the high desert.
I love high desert. It's in my blood. Some people don't because they just look at it like it's just sagebrush and hills.
And Terry wants to know when we're coming to Wisconsin. We need to come back through that whole area because we did that our first year and we moved way too fast. So we are planning to go back to the East Coast. Again, we can't really plan anything right now because
yeah, there's definitely some more places that we want to see in the East. So it might be a couple years out, but we're going back.
We are going back. Our bucket list is Newfoundland.
Oh yeah.
So we will be back to the East Coast.
Newfoundland sounds awesome.
And I would love to see the Florida Keys. And we didn't get to experience North Carolina very much.
Yeah, we found just one place to camp in North Carolina right in the corner, and we loved it, so we want to go back there.
So yeah, we will definitely be back to the East Coast again.
I know we got more questions.
Scott wants to know, why is everybody dying young in your family? On your dad's side, it was heart disease, right?
Yeah, I think so. Heart disease, MS.
Yeah, Dave's mom.
It's a long list.
So.
And probably just rough lifestyles too.
Yeah. So you're doing well. You're gonna outlive me.
I'm gonna break the record.
If you built another van or a renovated Stormtrooper, would you put a bathroom in? No. I think you're meaning a shower.
Oh, shower. Yeah, we wouldn't do a shower.
A shower
It's
or a
just
wet bath.
For something, just doesn't make sense for us because the space is so small. For something we wouldn't be using that often.
And everybody that we've talked to, with the exception of maybe 1 or 2 people who have put a shower in their van, has regretted it.
Yep.
So.
I'm sure there's a couple of people out there like their showers, we just haven't met them yet.
It is really nice to take a shower inside your van and have your privacy. But for the amount of time you use it and the amount of water it uses, it just isn't feasible for us.
I mean, most of the time you're not going to have you're not going to have water to use. We're always trying to conserve our water. So if you're the kind of person that's going to be using a lot of campgrounds or RV parks, maybe I can understand that, but they might already have a shower. So once again, it might be a waste of space.
I'm sorry, I'm all sold out of calendars.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
But there was a lot of demand. I mean, maybe we should do it again next year. Let us know.
Maybe.
Rose, Montana is awesome. I love Montana. Even the eastern part of Montana I like too, which is kind of surprising. But you know, the western side you got the Rockies, and then it flattens out a bit. But there's look, there's Tim and Julie.
Hi. Oh, that's on Patreon.
Oh, okay. Thought they're on the list.
This is Rodney. Very interesting question. And when do you think you will bring all of this to an end? Damn life. Dave said something to me the other day.
The other day I was thinking maybe a couple more years, but we were having a bad week.
I was like, you're really ready to quit?
So now I'm thinking it's going to be longer, but as long as we can keep the van going, probably.
Yeah, My ultimate dream is to buy a small piece of property with an A-frame that I can build over a stream and watch the stream run underneath it with a glass floor. And you know that's not going to happen because no state will let you build an A-frame over a stream.
Yes. I mean, we could build our own little tiny house pretty easy if we could buy some property. So maybe that'd be the long run. I don't know. But we're gonna stay on the road for a while.
Yeah. And as long as Stormtrooper will take us.
Yeah. I mean, I have trouble staying in the same spot for 10 days, so getting a piece of land doesn't sound super desirable.
Yeah.
At this point.
If we did, we'd get a very small piece of property and it would obviously be off-grid. Because I don't think we can ever go back to a traditional.
Yeah. I don't know if I can ever even live in a town again.
So. Okay, Mike and Christy asked where the 50-cent showers were in Ajo. Do you remember that trailer park?
It was that RV park across from the main gas station.
Thank you, Jeff.
I could watch that video and get the name, but I can't think of it right offhand. And they were working on the showers, so if they did upgrade them, they could have changed the pay system because the pay system wasn't working.
It was supposed to be $2 a shower, but it
was like 50 cents for unlimited showers when we went there.
Yeah. I would love to live in a tree house. Someone said live in a tree house. I would love that. Out of office camping. We don't know how we got hacked. I'm assuming that maybe it came through the Google side because I have all my precautions on, which I think helped us get our channel back. Because they could have very easily gone into our account and locked us out, and then we would have pretty much been screwed. But because I was alerted so quickly, I was able to get in there and kind of battled with them back and forth. So I think that kind of helped a little bit. So have all your precautions on and write your passwords down, write your channel IDs down, all that information you'll need. Jerry, love your channel. Thank you so much. Big Silver Bear says, love the Florida Keys. Plan, budget to see the dry Tortugas.
Yeah.
Okay.
I could see us doing the Keys in Florida now. We actually have some family that has moved to Florida. So that might work out for us to use for home base and then explore the Keys because it's fairly hard from what I hear to find free camping in the Keys, and that's what we do. So.
Yeah. Robin Jan said make magnets from the photos. That's a good idea.
Oh yeah.
Next year I'd like to make a very small desk type calendar that's a Roodle calendar. That would be a van size calendar.
Yeah. I like that.
Snow and ice in Ohio.
I see Mike Holmes has a comment, but I can't read it because I don't have my glasses on.
Did it just pop up?
Yeah.
When you get a chance to travel through Canada to Alaska, you're going to freak out. Easy off-road overnighting and the scenery will cause you to add several days to your timeline. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, I've already been reading about hot springs that you can hit along the way in Canada on your way to Alaska.
So Shane has a good question. How are your tires holding up?
Okay, so like right now we are running open country all-terrain tires. They're from Les Schwab, and they're holding up great. I mean, but they're super expensive. So I'm actually looking at going back to the Falcon AT3 all-terrain tires next time.
And the reason we went that is because we couldn't get the Falcons when we were in Idaho, and the Open Range are the sister company to Falcons.
Yeah, but they're just too expensive. So when I got almost right around 60,000 miles on the Falcons, I'm almost wondering if I did the math wrong because that was so many miles. But anyway, I really love those tires, and they're about half the price as the ones I have on there right now. But they're good tires. I love the open country tires. They're great tires. They're just kind of out of our price range.
Yeah, and I'm sorry if we missed super chats. I'm so sorry, but we are so appreciative. I think I missed a couple. Jeff, thank you so much. The comments go so fast that sometimes I don't see it. back to the tires. People ask us if we'll ever do KO2s.
So we've known people that had the KO2s and people that also had the Falcons, and they kind of did a test to see which one had better traction. And the test that we saw, the Falcons did better, and they're only half the price. So I don't see us going to those, but
And the Falcons are pretty quiet on the road.
yeah, they're very quiet.
And
They're just all around great tires.
thank you, Anne. We're happy to be back. We were a little nervous that our channel would be different. We weren't looking forward to starting over.
Yeah, I mean, we do have a lot of work to get caught up to make the playlist and do the homepage and get that all.
Yeah. But all our videos, I think all our videos are back.
We thought they were all there, but sometimes it's hard to access some of the videos even when you go through YouTube, because we've got so many of them. It's hard to find them all sometimes.
The adventure closet, I don't see that we lost a lot of subscribers. We're down a little bit, but sometimes YouTube does a purge, and so the subscriber count fluctuates sometimes, and it's around the first of the month, so they could have done a purge. So we're just over 24,000. So yeah, that would have, if we would have had to start over, we would have had to start over from scratch, and that would have been.
We would have did it though. It would have sucked. But...
Somebody said they heard a lot of the manatees died because it was so cold in Florida.
I hope not.
That sucks. The Adventure Closet. Your channel only shows 85 videos on our side. Okay, that's good to know. Thank you. So that means we got to go through and figure out.
Because we have about 300 videos, so I wonder what that's all about.
It's going to take us a while to go through and fix things and add playlists and update photos and try to figure out what the heck happened. I'm just so happy we're back though. A retired electrician. I will be at the nice warm Cottonwood Cove in Nevada. That's cool. Thank you for that. Offering to help you.
Oh, right on. Cottonwood Cove.
Oh, and you had to resubscribe. Okay.
Did like a lot of people have to resubscribe?
I don't know.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Glenn, if you wouldn't mind, can you email us at oneadventureatatime.com? No, at oneadventureatatime@yahoo.com.
Yeah.
That way we can keep in contact with you. Rudol's on the bed.
Yeah, me again.
Yeah.
I can just get it.
You can move the camera. Rudol-doodle-doo. Here, take it out. I can't.
What do you think, Rudol? What do you think, Rudol Doodle? Good boy. Oh, he likes the camera, see? He loves the camera. Here you go.
Great camera work.
It was great camera work.
So thank you everybody who messaged us via Instagram and our website. If you got a notification from our website, you would be shocked because that would be the first notification you've ever gotten. And that is something I'm going to work on this year. Hi Matt. Is if something like this happens, I can at least go on and say, hey, this is what's going on. So my goal is to at least do a newsletter once a month on the website. So if you haven't been to oneadventureatatime.com, go sign up and hold me accountable for that monthly newsletter.
Yeah, that's a great place to sign up if we ever do get hacked and you still want to follow our channel and we're under a different name, because we put all the information.
Yeah, and we had a plan B, so if we did have to start over, we were going to be uploading our videos to Vimeo. At least our patrons would be getting videos, and I don't know how it would work for subscribers past that point, but I need to check that out more. But at least you guys would know where we were and what happened. And the old saying, "Don't put all your eggs in one basket," is very true.
Yep.
So.
Big silver bear on the Berkey. Yeah, that Berkey holds solid. I've got it bolted, the strap bolted into 3/4 inch plywood. So it's not going anywhere.
Yeah. So we get this question a lot and we're kind of hesitant to talk about it, but like Sir Rob has a good question, is how do we do our mobile internet? And we're still working that out. So behind us we have a WeBoost. The first 2 years it worked great. It's that way. It's behind the
I know, I was looking for the other one.
It's right in front. It worked great, and the last year it hasn't been working so good. So I contacted WeBoost. They have fantastic customer service, but my new iPhone doesn't connect to the band that the WeBoost is on. So I either need to figure out how to switch the band that the iPhone goes on, maybe contact Verizon. So the WeBoost isn't working very well with our phone right now. So we have Verizon. I have unlimited hotspot on the phone. You have, for our laptops and iPad, we have 30 gigabytes of data, which goes very quickly. And then grab that. We are testing out, this is a T-Mobile hotspot. We're testing it out. It's about $50 a month. T-Mobile and Sprint is doing a merge, so we're going to see how it works before we recommend it.
Yeah.
But one of our patrons mentioned this to us, and it's been working pretty good.
Yeah, it seems like the signal's a little bit weaker than Carrie's phone, but at least it's unlimited and it doesn't get slowed down. So if we're anywhere around a town, we've noticed we have enough connections to upload a video without going to the library.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we wanted it for.
Yes. And it seems like the WeBoost is working with this somewhat. So, do you remember Calyx? This is the Calyx Institute. We paid for a year. So it's kind of expensive. It was like $700.
$700 the first year. I think it's $500 a year after that. Something
but
like
we went ahead and took the plunge, and we're going to try it out and see how it works. So far, this saved us in Reno because my uncle did not have internet, and even though he was in a low area that got good cell reception, we were able to upload all of our videos on this.
Yeah, and it's nice to have a hotspot that's portable, so we can just put it in our pocket and go wherever. I mean, if we're in anywhere we get connection, we could upload a video from a boulder next to a stream. So that's nice.
So yeah, that has. I was resistant because it's a lot of money, but Dave's like, no, we gotta do it. We gotta try it. And I have to admit, it has been pretty nice not having to go to the library. So. We were holding out for Starlink, but that just seems to keep getting pushed back. So maybe when that comes out, that will be an option. Rose has an AT&T data hotspot. The problem with our devices is we have to truly have unlimited hotspot.
Yeah, it can't be slowed down after a certain amount. It has to.
Because the 75 gigabytes, which they technically call unlimited on Verizon, one of our videos will eat up that entire data. So, yes, Rudel is a hamadoodle. So we are slowly working on videos. We are currently out of content.
Well, we have some content.
We're gonna do.
But we really need to get back out there and start making new content.
We're gonna do our top 8 boondocking of 2020, because for some reason we didn't do that, and we're gonna do. There's some things in Colorado that we didn't get on video, so we're gonna share that, and we have some van life stuff that we're hoping to get done. There will be a Rudel montage coming soon because Rudel has a ton of fans and people have been asking for a Rudel montage. Specifically to appease the dogs that watch Rudel.
The people that
So if you have a dog that watches Rudel, be on the lookout for a Riddle montage and send us pictures or videos of them watching Riddle.
Yeah, your pet's watching Riddle on the TV.
Yeah.
That's become one of my hobbies, actually, is just making new content and showing off the areas that we're in. I really enjoy doing that.
Dave's brother is commenting that campsite number 1 is the best. And we're in campsite number 1 right now in his backyard. And he cemented a 4x4 post with a National Forest sign on it, and it has a number 1, campsite number 1. Although I might have to complain about the view. It's a brick wall. But it's nice and private.
Good morning.
Any other questions we didn't answer? Raymond, I've heard of Visible. I need to look into that more. When you do your tiny house, what state would it be in?
I mean, I know what states I like, but we have to go back and check building code laws and regulations and property taxes.
Yeah.
So I guess first of all, just to find a place that we like and then check those. So that's gonna be a really tough decision because there's so many variables.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that you don't think about when you buy property. Sometimes you have to build a residence in a certain amount of time. You can't just live on it in your camper. So there's a lot to think about buying property, and we are not anywhere close to even doing that.
Yeah.
That is just a future dream.
Yeah, we're gonna have to dedicate a lot of focus to that when we get close to it.
Yeah, I mean, I think we still got a few years, 2 to 5 years at least of traveling in the van.
I would like to have our property in snow country, or at least where we see 4 seasons. So I like to watch the seasons change.
So Pete said, what about van tours? Yeah, van tours are very possible. The market is so saturated with van tours that they don't seem to be as popular as they were, so we didn't know if people wanted to watch those.
Yeah.
I hate doing a van tour on a really cool couple and they don't get any views. I feel bad. Yeah. So van tours are a possibility.
And we didn't do hardly any, with the whole COVID thing going on, so but maybe in the future it'd be time to get back into some.
And I used your suggestion for the hydrogen peroxide and alcohol for the composting toilet. Isn't it awesome?
It works great.
If you need extra for ladies, the hydrogen peroxide alone works wonders in the bowl. Raymond said that his T-Mobile 5G doesn't work as good in the sticks. Yeah, we were concerned about that, and we haven't really had an opportunity to get out and try that out yet. But when we were in South Dakota in the sticks, we had the best internet service we've ever had anywhere.
Oh yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see, and with the new 5G upgrades, like when we went back to Mom's, previously I didn't have any connection, but this last time when we went back we did. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes. Badger PA. We have thought about the pole barns. He says a lot of people put up a metal building garage. That is definitely an option. Again, this is just future dreams. We haven't really dedicated any time to finding the property.
Yeah. We've never actually ran into. Well, yeah, we have.
We've seen him, but we haven't talked to him.
Yeah,
Did we talk to him?
No, we never talked to him.
We were the first year at the RTR, and it was very, very busy. And of course, you can't get close to him because everybody wants to talk to him. But we've seen him. Tutorials on droning and nature photography. Dave has that, working on a drone video.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do pretty much a short video about drones, and just to get people more comfortable with what to expect if you buy one, and if you already have one, maybe I can make you feel more comfortable flying it without crashing it, and just give some basic information. It won't be any advanced kind of stuff, but just to make people feel more comfortable and just get out there and fly more.
Yeah. And photography, I have been very lax on getting out this year, of course, with everything going on, but I'm missing going out with my camera every day. And so it's easier to do that when you're out in the middle of nowhere, but I just need to do it. Like, I could do it here, I just need to get out in the morning and walk. So more photography coming.
More questions. I think someone was asking more details about our composting toilet. So we're currently using a Nature's Head, which it's worked pretty good. We like it. If it ever breaks, would I buy a new one? Probably not. I think we would just make our own, maybe make it a little smaller, take up less space. But it has done its job.
The only reason why we wouldn't buy it again is because it's very expensive. And it takes up a lot of room. It's very large. But on the other hand, it's pretty comfortable. It's like you're sitting on a regular toilet, and so that is nice.
Yeah.
But I don't know where we would put it. It'd have to go in the same spot.
Same location.
So.
Yeah. Yes, I have used the drone to scout ahead. We were on a road that had some snow patches on it, and I wanted to know if it was even worth going over the snow patch, because I didn't want to dig out across the snow patch just to get to another snow patch. So it has been pretty cool for that.
So Terry asked, Chrome said he didn't need a license for his because it's small. Is that how it works in the States? For a drone?
Yeah, so in the States, and I'll have to look up the numbers, but if your drone weighs over a certain amount, you do have to have
to register.
You have to have it registered.
Yeah.
So I think that's the difference.
So the DJI Mini is under that weight, so you don't have to register it.
Yeah.
But for us, because we use the drone videos in our content, and because we are getting paid, we have to have the commercial 107 drone pilot's license, no matter what drone you use, correct?
Yeah, no matter what drone you use in the United States, you have to have the Part 107 pilot license.
If you're using it for commercial reasons.
Yeah, if you're making money on it.
Yeah.
And I've almost had that license. This year it'll be 2 years.
I can't believe it's been that long.
Every 2 years you have to update and take a test. So my test is coming up at the end of this year.
How do you guys feel about YouTube has been doing they've been rolling out the shorts, a short video, kind of like Instagram reel or a TikTok. It's like a minute long and it's straight up and down instead of the landscape. How do you guys feel about that? So I thought maybe we could do some camera stuff and some small drone stuff if you're interested in watching short videos. I don't know how we feel about it yet.
Rose is asking about our coffee setup. We don't really have much of a coffee setup.
Wait, it's up here.
So
it's instant coffee.
Yeah, I love the taste of coffee. It's just caffeine makes me go bonkers, and so I don't drink that much of it. Yeah. And I could drink decaf, but then I want to just over sweeten it, and don't need all that extra sugar, so I'm just not a huge coffee fan.
Yeah, coffee doesn't agree with
I love the
caffeine
coffee.
doesn't agree with you.
I love the coffee flavor though.
And then when I have coffee, it's a little bit of coffee with a lot of sugar and cream.
Which is okay.
So we don't really have a coffee setup, I guess. I'm switching to tea and chai lattes. Thank you, drone. Dave is doing really good with his drone work.
Carrie is the main cook for sure.
Well, it's supposed to be half and half.
Yeah, sure. I'm supposed to be cooking breakfasts.
And what time is breakfast usually served?
2 o'clock in the afternoon.
That's okay. I get up early, so I just make myself a small breakfast. And Dave doesn't eat breakfast, so it works out that way. So basically, I only have to cook 1 meal a day, which is dinner. Rob and Jan. No, on the instant coffee. Well, I think Dave lost interest in coffee when he couldn't have caffeine.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, it gives me the jitters. I get to shaking. I don't feel good. I feel like I'm sick. Yeah, I think it runs in the family. My brother has the same thing.
So, Gabe and Caroline wrote the Rudel song. You've seen them in our videos, Wondrous Life. And they composed it and sang it and did the whole thing on GarageBand. So you'll be seeing more. I'm hoping to put more of Rudel in our videos this year too. Dave, I've never seen you do any grilling.
Yeah, I need to do more.
Wait, we did some in Texas on the beach.
Oh yeah. I need to do more grilling on the. I really love cooking on the campfires, so maybe we'll start showing more of that. I just like cooking on the campfire.
We are introduced to this really small flat. I think it was a flat pack grill called the Otzi.
Oh,
Rose, is that right? And it's this little tiny grill that folds up to like really thin, about this big. So
that thing looked like fun. Yeah, I would try that.
Yeah.
But we have a cast iron stove or pan that we use, and that's something you can cook right on the campfire with. And we like to do like hobo style meals where you just pack a bunch of stuff in aluminum foil and put it right on the fire.
adVANture tells, do you use any kind of communication radios when you're out in the boondocks as a backup? Like a ham or CB? That would be kind of fun, but we don't have any experience in that. So, no, we don't. Oh, what's the test? What's the test? Hello from Uray. Hello. Late joiner, welcome. What's the test for the drone pilot's license?
The Part 107?
Yeah, they want to know what that's like.
Oh, it's pretty intense, actually. It's something if I wouldn't have studied for, I would have failed miserably. So there is a lot of nautical chart work, and it's not a lot of easy, A, B, or C kind of circle answer kind of questions.
You need to know it inside out.
Yeah, they'll ask you a question. You have to go to a nautical chart and figure out the answer and then put that in. So it took me a couple hours maybe to take the test.
Yeah, but it took him like 3 weeks of studying like 4 hours a day before that.
Yeah. So it was pretty intense, but I used Pilot Institute, which is a course that you can take online.
And you really liked it.
I loved it. It was all broken down into sections. It was a lot of sections. It does take some work to get, but I had a lot of fun learning new things that I had known nothing about. So.
And the course itself is kind of expensive. We got it when they were having like $100 off, which made it reasonable. And then the test was a couple $100 too, right?
I think it was only 60.
60, but you had to go to an actual airport to take that test.
Yep.
And we did that in Prescott. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you get a little card, and it shows you that you have your license and all the information on it and stuff like that. And you carry that with you.
But Dave used to do nautical charts when he was in the Coast Guard, and he loved working the nautical charts.
Yeah, I loved doing chart work, so that gave me a little bit of a head start.
It might be harder for someone who's never done that, I think.
Yeah.
Which segues, and someone asked what did you do in the Coast Guard, and do you miss it?
I was a bosun's mate, so I drove the 44-foot motor lifeboat, did a lot of search and rescue, and a little bit of law enforcement. I was also a federal law enforcement officer.
Which I did not like. So, yeah, they would board boats with guns, and it was dangerous. And, yes, it was. And he actually drove the prototype for the boats that they use now, the 47-footer.
Yeah, the 47-foot. I had a great time. I was only in for 6 years, though.
It was from the other side of it, from the wife's side. He was the captain. He drove the boat, and so it was pretty dangerous. You had a boat that got hit by a wave, and it broke the whole windshield. It can roll the boats.
Yeah, so we had to get qualified as surfmen, so we drove the boats in the surf, so they were able to take a certain amount of water smashing up against the windows, and they were able to roll over, but only in emergencies, and keep on going because a lot of damage was done. But I had a lot of fun, got a lot of training.
Yeah, but you would go out and you go out in the worst conditions. You go out and you help people. They were out. Dave wasn't out on this call, but another call when one of the helicopter crashed, right, in Eureka.
Yeah, I was on that call.
You were
but
on that call?
I was in a boat instead of a helicopter, thankfully.
It was so foggy that the helicopter couldn't see, and they crashed into a mountain, and all crew members died. That was really sad. So from the female perspective, from the wife perspective, it was awesome and terrifying. And you just thought it was awesome.
Yeah, it was adrenaline rush. It was I was young. It was fun.
And do you miss it?
I do miss parts of it, yeah.
Now we're having a land yacht.
But I'm having a lot of fun right now. Any more questions?
Hello from Texas. Hello from Jersey Jim. Where is Mehoopany? How's that how you say it? Mehoopany. I'm sorry if I'm butchering it. Mehoopany. Dave, how come you don't do much kayaking? Probably because you don't have your fishing license.
Yeah, so that's probably it. We used to have awesome kayaks too, and mine was all set up for fishing, so I would take that out every chance I had. And had a great time with it. But since we've been on the road, a lot of times when Carrie's in her kayak, I want to film it with the drone. So I don't know. I just haven't felt the desire to do it.
And Rudel really doesn't like us apart, so
yeah, usually,
one of us has to stay with Rudel and keep him from following the other one. And if we're both in the water, we have to stay together because he doesn't like us to separate. And we don't have room for 2 kayaks.
No, we don't.
But we should get a paddleboard.
I don't want any more stuff.
I was trying to get him to agree to that on camera.
No more stuff.
Any quick tips for water saving?
Yeah.
Joe or new? We're trying this out.
Okay. Alright, so we're using these 2 things. This is for rinse water, and it sprays. You just pump it up, and then
Don't spray the computer.
and then you can use it to rinse off the dishes. So that's been really handy. That saves a lot of water on the rinse. For the wash, we've been using this.
We're trying this. It's the power wash.
So
it's been working out pretty well.
So it's great. I mean, sometimes you can get away with just using the 2 and not using
hardly any water.
So that's been great. 20 gallons usually last us at least 10 days.
We don't have any problem with the water, usually. But if we took showers, we would. Yeah. Rudel is his mom was a chocolate lab, and his dad was an apricot poodle. I love the Bob Ross mug. This is not mine. This is Robert's and Renee's. But I like says we don't make mistakes, we have happy accidents. So thank you, Robert Renee, for letting me use it this morning. It's got my chai latte in it. Just get a trailer for all the stuff, Dave.
No more stuff.
I tried to get him to put the little Thule cargo racks on top.
No, because you just fill those full of junk, and then you got more junk to carry.
A lot of people use vinegar and water for their dishes. I just don't like the smell of vinegar. A lot of people use that for their composting too. So I have been known to paint on rocks. I'm not a great painter. I wish I could be like Bob Ross and to paint anything, but no.
Carrie can paint a little bit. You used to paint rocks all the time, and they were pretty good.
Yeah, I did like a baby deer on a rock. That was really cool.
You did lots of stuff. You've probably done 20 or 30 of them.
But I can't just sit down and paint like a portrait or like sometimes I'll watch painters painting and I'm just like amazed at what they can do. I can sit down and do something, if I can.
Mike and Christy, they're towing a cargo trailer now.
But Mike and Christy have a small van too. Oh, we should take pictures. I forgot. I did for Robert, for I think one of his birthdays, I did a flat stone and I painted a koi pond on it. And he's got a couple of them in the back. So, and I painted turtles on rocks.
Yeah,
so.
you did a lot of them.
Yeah.
I love rock hounding, yeah. I've already found a couple places in Nevada where I want to go rock hounding. It's just the wrong time of year, but I'm always keeping an eye out for that.
Yeah.
And those are garnets. I know a couple places where I can look for garnets.
And opals. There's a lot of rock mining in Nevada.
Nevada's just the hot spot for that kind of thing. And there's not a lot of people out there.
Vinegar works great when I'm putting up peppers. What does that mean?
I don't know.
Elaborate. I want to know more about that. Andy?
We've got 95,000 miles. So last year we drove 26,000.
Dave, where do we keep all the rocks we find?
That's the problem. We can't keep the rocks we find.
And so in front of my seat there's a little cubby that is full of rocks. And Dave tried to give some away to...
I'm always trying to give them away. Or
They're my special rocks. He's like, can I give this to the little girl? I'm like, no.
Or we find him, and we'll just leave them, you know, beside the van and leave them there for the next person. But
when we go agate hunting, we just usually, where we're camping, it's in the agate area. We'll leave, and there'll be like a pile of agates just left behind. So whoever comes to that spot, we're like, look at all these agates. And we hope it's a kid. He'll just be thrilled. Other than that, we can't take the rocks. Oh, you use vinegar when canning peppers. Okay.
yeah. What?
Larry said my wife had a whole van packed with rocks.
I don't want that. All right.
Yellow rocks are the best. Robert, what's a yellow rock? You know what a yellow rock is?
Gold.
Oh, gold. That's what he's talking about. So since lab shed and poodles do not, how is Rudel shed backer? So Rudel is a first generation Labradoodle, meaning he's the first litter of puppies between mom and dad. And he does shed a little bit, but not too bad.
Awesome. They flew over Silverjack and it was frozen. That's cool.
That's cool.
That's awesome. So the battery system, I'm hoping to start upgrading that in the next week, maybe 2.
He's really anxious to get that started, and I kind of won't let him start it until we can just be somewhere where we can open everything up, get everything out.
I think I have everything I need, but you know how that goes. Of course, we're gonna do it someplace in the middle of the desert, probably.
Yeah. Yes, we're giving up the Gold Zero, and we're going to... Dave has picked one battery. What is your battery?
We've got a 200 amp hour battery, and that's what we're gonna be running.
You could drop off special rocks at gem polishers. We are carrying a couple of pounds of agates that we found before van life that we have had polished. So you'll find rocks throughout the van, but we don't have a great stash of them anywhere. It's Mitch up here by Lehman's Hardware, Ohio. Lehman's Hardware was an awesome store.
Yeah. I like that one.
Okay, we gotta try this pepper sauce by putting hot peppers in bottle covered with vinegar. Dave, are you doing I guess that's battery to battery so that you can charge while driving?
Yes, I am. Yeah. So I'll have a DC to DC charger. I have a DC to DC charger. It's kind of an all-in-one. It's made by Renergy. It's a DC to DC charger. It's an isolator. It's a solar charger. All in one. MPPT charger.
Where's your sketch?
Might look confusing.
So this way. He's got it all sketched out. I don't know what any of it means. He showed me and I was like, I'm glad you know what all that is. So that looks very complicated. What kind of battery did you choose? Do you remember?
That's an ampere time. So we wanted, because of space restrictions, it's all going to go in a small area, a super small area. So we had to get a battery that fit in that area, and 2 batteries didn't work, so we got 1.
He keeps telling me that it's going to take more room, and I keep saying the more room it takes, the more camera gear goes away. So we're having a battle between the lines.
Yeah.
But ultimately the battery wins, and yes, it's lithium.
Yeah, it's a lithium battery. So we wanted to be able to use 100% of the battery for 200 amps.
Where did you learn?
So Carrie already had woodworking skills. So she took wood shop in high school and then kept it up and kept learning more and more as she went. So that really helped when like building cabinets and building out the van.
Yeah.
And then everything else that we just learned by watching YouTube channels and looking what other people did and just hands-on.
Well, you did some plumbing when we had a house and
Yeah.
sprinkler systems and stuff like that. So you learned the plumbing part of it.
Yeah, if you own a home, you end up learning how to do a little bit of everything.
The electrical is something that we never did much with, and
No.
that's why we're doing it now. Many years after we've been on the road. David, he wants to know, check out these guys, Will Prowse.
I did watch one of his videos, maybe a couple of Will Prowse's videos. Yeah, he does a good job comparing different devices against each other.
Donna, thank you so much for the compliment. She says she loves our work, creativity, the content, the beautiful drone footage, videography, boondocking tips. So, thank you so much. It's great to hear that. And it was really heartwarming when our channel was gone. So many of you contacted us, where are you? You can't go away. And we wouldn't leave without saying goodbye. Some people thought we left without saying goodbye, but it was nice to see all the outreach for us.
Yeah, and we're back.
Yeah, we're back. We got our channel back. Okay, should we wrap it up? We'll give you any last minute questions. If you have a YouTube channel, make sure all your safety precautions are in place. Know your YouTube channel ID number.
Yeah, write that down, take a picture of it,
Yeah.
have that handy.
Write down, they also asked me for some of my video IDs. So when you post a video to YouTube, each video will have a link. They asked me for those. Thankfully, I have posted several of those to Facebook. Because it wasn't looking good for a while until I figured out that I'd posted all those to Facebook and I could provide them with that. We do have a VPN. We have Surfshark. We did not have it on. I guess turn your VPN on and have everything written down, because once your channel is suspended, you cannot get into it to get any of that information. So.
Stickers?
Oh, yep. So we have new stickers. These are One Adventure at a Time holographic stickers. They're on our website store. We can tattoo our YouTube ID. That's an idea. I always said I was going to get a tattoo when I was 50. So, yeah, these are in the store now. Mom is doing good. She's home recovering. She's very weak. She is, her ability to swallow and eat is still pretty hindered because of she's got a pretty good radiation burn. But she's home recovering. Maybe what I'll do for the security for YouTubers, I will do a blog post on our website because I'm going to be using that website more this year. So I'll tell you what you need to know and go over all the information there.
All right, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you everybody for
Yeah.
tuning in.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for your support, and we're happy to be back.
Yep, we look forward to getting back on the road.
We're
and
so
getting
happy to be back.
Getting some new content.
Yeah. Mom has a network of friends that are with her, and we're only an hour and a half away from her, and we'll be checking in and out. But if we had to come back to her, we probably won't go more than a day or two at most.
2 days at most.
Yeah. But thank you everybody for tuning in, and
Yep.
thank you for your support, and hopefully we will see you next Saturday with some new content.
Yep. Have a great day. Bye, guys.
Bye.
What about Rudel? Rudel,
Bye, Rudel. Does Rudel want to say goodbye? Bye, Rudel.
He's like, I'm ready to go. You ready to go? Oh.
Yeah, here he comes.
All right, easy. Easy to.
And he's out. All right, bye guys.